This week, we're getting into the next major project in the course, the research paper. This tends to be the assignment that intimidates students the most just because it is a little heftier than what we've done so far, but over the course of the next few weeks, we'll break it down in a more digestible way to get you where you need to go. In terms of why we're doing this project, there are lots of purposes to writing research papers. While it is a more academic genre, it lets us practice the skills of finding sources, looking at what those sources tell us, and using them to construct a larger argument. We also know that the more types of writing we practice, the better we are to adapting at new writing situations in the future. This is also a required assignment by the university. So throughout this unit, we're going to be thinking about conspiracy theories and how they form. I get worried every semester about accidentally creating 100 conspiracy theorists. So as we get into this, we'll really be looking into the different factors that play a role in how these theories get constructed, in the effort to be able to recognize the process without getting sucked into it. That being said, there are lots of theories that you can write about. The most popular topics tend to be the JFK assassination, Princess Diana's death, and the moon landing being faked. Your topic will be subject to my approval, but this is a project where I've only had to deny a couple of topics because there were truly no sources, and students came up with the conspiracy theory themselves. One note is that mythical creatures or urban legends don't work for this project, so things like mermaids, Bigfoot, or Mothman don't qualify for this. Those things get constructed in different ways than conspiracy theories, so they don't work for the purpose of this unit. It should also be noted that you aren't arguing for or against a conspiracy theory. You are not writing an academic paper about why you believe the moon landing was fake or that 9/11 was an inside job. You are not doing that under any circumstances. Instead, when you create an argument in this project, you are arguing about the longevity of this theory. Based on your research, is this something that you think will continue to spread? Why or why not? That is what we are worried about, not whether or not you believe the theory. Do not make that mistake. Your audience for this project is someone who is concerned about the spread of conspiracy theories in the United States. They have no prior knowledge about the theory you're addressing, though, so you'll want to keep that in mind as you write. How would you explain the theory and its spread to someone who has no idea what you're talking about? In order to get a complete on this project, you need to include a few different elements in both content and in formatting. So for content, you should introduce the conspiracy theory. In keeping with our audience for this project, you should give a history of the belief, who key figures in the theory are, either in the theory itself or in the spread of the theory, major pieces of evidence, and how it spreads. Is this a thing that has blown up on social media? Or has it spread more from word of mouth? Is there a society like the Flat Earth Society where people go to conventions and things like that? When I say major pieces of evidence, you'll notice that it's in quotation marks. Oftentimes with conspiracy theories, evidence is a very fluid word. And we'll get more into how evidence gets defined and considered in this unit. But recognize that the scholarly standard for evidence typically does not apply in conspiracy theories. For additional content, you need to include an artifact of a conspiracy theory. So there are lots of things that can qualify as an artifact. Documents key to the theory, like a flat earth map. Photos or videos that provide proof, like the alleged shadows in the moon landing photos. A manifesto of beliefs found on a group website, interviews with believers of the theory, or texts produced by believers in the theory like YouTube videos, TikToks, a series of tweets, Instagram posts, Reddit posts, etc. If you would like to look at an interview as your artifact for this project, you are not permitted to conduct that interview yourself. You need to find an interview that someone else has done. If you do your own survey or interview for this project, it will be marked as incomplete without the opportunity to revise. You cannot do your own interview or survey for this project. As far as formatting requirements go for this project, you need at least 6 sources, which will be cited in a standard style on a works cited page. You should also write at least 2,000 to 3,000 words total, excluding the works cited content. This is the minimum word count set by the university, and double-spaced, it usually checks out to somewhere between 8 and 12 pages. If you're nervous about this project, that's understandable. Please reach out with any questions about the assignment sheet or the expectations for this project. I will also be introducing extra credit in this unit to help you feel more confident in your writing. Major project number 3, the research paper, is due on Monday, April 6th at 11:59 p.m. in Canvas. This is the last project you have your chance to use your one-time, one-week extension on. If you have used your extension already, you are not eligible to use it on this project. If you turn in a project late after already using your extension, your project will be marked as incomplete without the opportunity to revise. If you have any questions, let me know.